A lot has changed since the first consumer electronics show in 1967, but the basic idea remains the same. It is still the place to go to check out the next big thing. This year, it wasn't a single device making waves, but a whole category of devices. Wearable tech was all the rage. So what is it? Here's how an executive from Intel explains it.
It almost means everything to everybody right now. But I think finally getting wearable tech that looks good and works well and people want, that's going to be the secret. We're looking at what people would do with wearable tech, how they'd want it to look, where they would wear it, where they would put it, how you charge it. We're looking at the whole experience.
All right, my next guest is just back from Las Vegas. Hiawatha Bray is the technology writer for the Boston Globe and a contributor to Wired, Fast Company, and Black Enterprise. Welcome back to Greater Boston, Hiawatha Bray, and back from Las Vegas. Absolutely. So you had the same observations, of course, that wearable tech is the thing. Give us some examples of what kind of stuff.
Well, you're seeing a bunch of different things coming out there. Of course, they had all the usual smartwatches, and of course, people like me are all sitting here going, smartwatch? Why do I need that? Most of these smartwatches attach wirelessly to your smartphone, and so you're sitting there thinking, why do I need the watch? I might as well use the phone. But on the other hand, a lot of this fitness stuff.
Does the watch act as a phone too?
Well, as a speaker. It's not a phone. It just talks to the phone through a Bluetooth connection, so you can take calls like through the Galaxy Gear and talk like this. I don't know why people think that's a great idea, and it's hard to hold you can't really hold a private conversation that way. But on the other hand, health and fitness related wearable technology is everywhere, including stuff that you can, for example, attach to your baby so that it's constantly monitoring them. Intel was showing stuff like that. Baby monitors attached to the pajamas your child is wearing. Some really cool fitness stuff, like Intel was talking about these smart earbuds, where you put them in and you're listening to music while you're jogging, but the earbuds are also monitoring your pulse. They're monitoring the rate at which you are running, and they are constantly feeding that information, again, to your smartphone. But this is just one of a whole family of stuff that's appearing that you attach to your body that is using sensors to figure out what's going on with you physically. That's one area of wearable tech that is catching on. It's doing pretty well, and it's going to keep doing well.
All right, you also were into something called the Oculus Rift virtual reality glasses.
Oh,
it's too complicated for me to say, much less wear.
This is something that I think could very well end up taking the gaming world by storm. They're the first real virtual reality goggles that really work very well and are reasonably comfortable, and they're starting to write games for them. They were testing this, or showing it off at CES, with a game that's actually fairly old called Half-Life 2, but it has been modified to work well with this. And the reason it's brilliant is you put these goggles on and you are totally immersed in the world of the game. In other words, say you do a 360 degree turn. You just pivot like this. What you will see in the goggles is as if you really were in that world turning 365 degrees. You see what's behind you. You see what's ahead of you. You look up, you see the ceiling. You look down, you see the floor. Wherever you're looking, you are in the game.
How do you play the game? With your eyes or with your fingers?
No, you're holding a controller while you're doing all this, but you are completely visually immersed in the game. It's like being completely inside it. You put on a set of headphones and these things, and you're gone. You are in that world. It's like something out of one of these science fiction movies, and it is that good. It's very impressive, especially when you use it with something else that they had there, which is called the Virtuix Omni, which is a really bizarre idea. They were showing people using this. It's the virtual, you take the virtual reality goggles, then you stand on that thing. It is like a treadmill. You wear special shoes and a harness to keep you from falling down. And then you can rotate on this. You can run on it. You can stand on this platform and run, and you will be running through the game.
So that's actually kind of neat, because it's inspiration to work out.
Absolutely. It is a physical fitness workout while you're playing. If you're playing one of those run and gun games like Call of Duty, you really are running and gunning. You are running through the game, holding a gun, shooting at things. And people see it as a very useful physical fitness tool, as well as a great gaming experience.
Right. You also got to drive, because I read your piece of the Globe, the electric BMW.
Absolutely. Now, last year, I didn't write much about this, but I got to drive the Tesla S, which is a $100,000 car that moves like total lightning. But this is a $40,000 BMW. It's a little slower, but it's a lovely car. It's made out of carbon fiber. I mean, they say that it will be able to be very, very crash-worthy. It's quite roomy, wonderful performance, $40,000. And that's before all the tax breaks. I drove this car, and I'm telling you, it really is beginning to sink in. The electric car is right on the verge of becoming a really practical device that people are going to buy.
All right, well, something that piqued my curiosity, a tennis racket of the future.
Oh, yeah, the tennis racket. This is the one made by the French company, what is it? I can't remember the name. It's a French company. They were one of the first makers.
Babolat.
There you go, Babolat. They were one of the first makers of tennis rackets.
Yep.
And they have a tennis racket with a chip inside that talks to your smartphone to tell whether you are swinging the racket correctly.
I don't want to know anything about it.
It's about $400. No, but that is a very important product because it ties into something that you saw all the way through CES. There was no one big product, but what really is big there is the idea that everything is going to have sensors in it. Everything you use is going to have a chip in it that's going to calculate what you're doing, and it's going to have memory to store what you're doing, and it's going to have a radio to broadcast what you're doing. And that's going to be interesting.
Thank you so much as always.
Okay.
Great stuff.
Thanks a lot.